Hey everybody, it's Tony Delani with Owning the Dash. Number one, I just wanted to say that I really hope you enjoyed the tax bracket layer cake video that I put together with my children, Abby and Jason. We had a lot of fun doing it and we hope you got something out of it. Today I want to just real quickly talk to you about a financial planning fundamental that tends to overshadow a lot of people's thinking and just kind of give you a different way to take a look at it. And it basically has to do with the idea of pretend you're in a situation where you've got some excess cash flow and you're trying to figure out where to put it. And you have a choice. The choice is either save for the future or pay down your current debts. Well, in the beginning of Owning the Dash, I talk about creating something called a net worth statement. And a net worth is just all of your assets minus all of your liabilities. And it's a pretty commonly known term. But in the book, I actually go another level into it, where I talk about not only identifying your assets and your liabilities, but also getting a sense of what rate of return am I getting on my assets, or am I supposed to get on my assets, and also what am I paying out on my liabilities. A lot of time we have different loans, mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and we don't even know what the interest rate is that we're paying out on it. So until you know that information, it's impossible to figure out where to put that excess cash flow. Because what you might find out is if you invest for the future and achieve a decent rate of return, that might all get eaten away with interest you're paying out on certain liabilities. So today I thought I'd go through just a real quick example, just to kind of give you an idea. And what I'm going to start off with, have a few fun visuals just to kind of help make the point. What I'm going to start off with is basically a scenario where an individual has a set amount of money. And just for example's sake, we're going to say $10,000. So we're going to pretend that the money this tub is about $10,000. And just to be honest, it's not to scale, but we're saying just pretend you have a bucket of money that's $10,000, and you have a choice. You can take that $10,000 and you can invest it into a stock or a mutual fund or something like that inside of a brokerage account or a managed portfolio. Or you can take a look at your liabilities and see if it makes sense to pay off a certain liability or pay down a certain liability. So in the example I'm going to use today, I want to take a scenario where you have an individual who says, I've got this stock that I want to buy. And the stock estimates to yield about a 6% rate of return. I'm estimating I want to get about a 6% rate of return on that stock. On the flip side, I have this liability over here. I have this auto loan where I'm paying out a 6% rate of interest on that loan. So the question is, which is better to do? Put the money into the stock or the investment that yields a potential 6%, or pay off the auto loan or pay down the auto loan that is at a flat 6%. So let's say we took the option A and we decided to invest that money in the future, because it's really hard to part with $10,000 and see all that go toward the liability, and it feels really good to watch your investments grow. So we ended up buying this investment, this stock or fund, and it does well. It actually gets that 6% we were hoping for. So I'm going to just kind of pour some more money into our overall investment pool. And 6% of $10,000 is $600. So now our $10,000 has grown up to $10,600. Beautiful. We love it. Feels really good to see. But while we've been seeing this growth take place, what we haven't been watching is that interest that's been eaten out of our auto loan. And 6% of $10,000, had that money been used to pay off the principal on that auto loan, you would not have paid the interest, which in this case would have also been $600. So we have this auto loan at 6%, as we said, $600. So basically all that income we just made is getting wiped out, and it's trickling out. We don't get to see it. It's kind of like your mortgage or your credit cards. Sometimes you don't see it happening. You just make the monthly payment and it just kind of eats away and eats away and eats away. So it's not fun to see, it's not fun to look at, but the reality is that all that money that was coming in is now disappearing. I'm just going to pause while this finishes up. So there it is. We just saw that nice $600 that we made suddenly disappear in interest in that auto loan that we've been paying on. But here's the other part that we didn't realize. Not only did we have to pay off that interest, But when it came to that gains and that the income that we received off of that stock or fund that we purchased, the tax man came and he decided we're going to also decide to take a portion of that for ourselves. So in addition to that debt and interest that we had to pay on, we now also have to pay taxes, which at a minimum are going to be probably in the ballpark capital gains, long-term capital gains. You're looking at potentially a best case scenario of, in some cases 0%, but more often than not 15%. So 15% of that $600 is going to be an additional $90 coming out. So now we've lost our 600, we've lost our 90. All of a sudden that $10,000 that we had, 10,600, I apologize, it's now dropped down below the mark. And now we're down to 9,910. We've actually lost money. And we didn't even realize it was happening. We saw an investment, looked good, it looks like it was doing really well, but when you took a look at the overall net worth, those liabilities were eating away at the growth that our investments were making. So when it comes to taking a look at what do I do for my future, you really want to dissect not only what are my assets and what are my liabilities, but also what am I paying on those different liabilities? If I'm paying 18% on a credit card, it's really not that likely I'm going to be getting an 18% rate of return. Not to mention the fact that the investment, the stock, could have lost money. It could have gone down in value. So keep those things in mind when it comes to investing for your future. Take a look at Owning the Dash. Lots of great tips and tricks in there on how to prepare for down the road. And I hope you found today's little lesson helpful. Have a great day.